Should be good to go. All right, so game two. Uh, let's see what that's gonna be. Game two. It looks like it's going to be Smithy versus Vash. This is from Guns and Roaches. Smithy versus Team Composites Vash. This was a highly highly talked about match throughout the week. Because Smithy, the player from Guns N' Roaches, actually was just on Team Composite, ended up leaving Team Composite, and now plays for Guns N' Roaches. So this was a interesting head-to-head match that took place, and we'll go ahead and
Hmm.
hop into this
Oh,
game.
are we in the wrong one?
Oh, should be. Oh, yep, you're right. You're right. You're right. Right. Ooh, my mistake. Let's hop back out of that one. That was the one we just did.
Alrighty, gotta. There we go. So what level is that matchup?
So that's a gold level matchup. It looks like Protoss versus it's a PvP matchup. So Protoss versus Protoss in the Gold League.
Always exciting.
Oh yeah, PvP.
Lots of different things.
Anything can really happen in PvP. So all right, I think we got the right match this time. There you go. And this is going to be on the four-player map Frost, with four different spawn locations. So let's see if they spawn across from each other or diagonally. They are going to spawn actually just across from each other. And Wilkie, if you'd like to do the honors of announcing the players.
Thank you, almost fall. In the bottom right-hand corner, from Team Composite, it is Vash. And spawning in the lower left-hand corner, the light blue Protoss, it is Smithy.
All right. So what do you expect to see here early on in this PvP matchup?
Well, since it is Yansu and a huge map, I'd like to see some type of early expand macro games from the both of them. At least that's what I expect. But cheese is always there, especially in Protoss.
Yeah. This is actually on Frost, not Yansu. Um,
Oh, God, I was thinking I saw the other
yeah, it
one.
was the
Sorry.
previous. That was the last one we did. But so did throw down an early pylon here. It looks like gateway coming down for Vash. No gateway yet from Smithy. So looks like he's gonna go out and scout though, and he will find his opponent's base. Um, and scout out that there is the gateway. So it looks like right now Smithy is behind on his gateway. Could this be an early aggressive attack from Vash with his gateway being so early?
Uh, I don't I don't think so. It's not that much earlier. It's only another 15 seconds. And even with a walk distance from a proxy pylon, that makes your forces about even when you get there. I think it's just a little bit of a different in build and a little bit of difference in playstyle.
Okay, so we're seeing double gas go down for Vash. Looks like he's going to be going with a kind of a probably an early gas intensive build if I had to guess. Either Stargate or maybe Twilight Council. I don't know which one would
Okay.
you tend to lean towards.
Well, actually, I was just thinking my analysis might have been a little bit off earlier. Sometimes the gateway is put down a little bit earlier for maybe a little bit of a boost on the warp gate research. So if he throws on a chrono here, then I would expect a big attack with warp gate. But looks like he's just doing standard play. As far as a Twilight or Stargate goes, I'd almost go for the Stargate just because of the mobility it has, getting across the map and things like that.
Okay, so he did chrono out a stalker and then he got Warp Gate research. Let's see if he's going to spend where he's going to spend the rest of his Chrono Boost. It looks like he is going to throw down a Stargate, so we'll be seeing a Stargate either Oracles or uh, possibly a Void Ray build would be interesting to see. I'm not sure. I'm not sure we would see Phoenix on this map, but that's also a possibility as well. Looks like that is a Robo facility going down for Smithy, so Smithy's going to get out a Robo and possibly, is this possibly a 3-gate Robo?
Possibly. Not sure yet. He is. Well, he doesn't have a lot of mineral saved. Maybe he expects to expand. This is actually really not looking too good for Smithy. A lot of Stargate plays really crushed the 3-gate Robo. So he's got to be really careful here, especially moving into the next few minutes of the game.
Yeah, it looks like Vash is going to start off by building an Oracle. So he's going to get an Oracle down that way. He threw down 2 additional gates. Probably going to be early attack with the Oracle, and then possibly what I like to do is build an Oracle and then go a 3-gate Stargate follow-up push. A lot of times, it's an all-in play. I don't know if we're going to see that from Vash. He might just decide to usually when you get a mothership core, you're going to expand instead of rushing. So
right. It might depend on how he thinks he does with this Oracle attack right here. Maybe if he gets a lot of probes, he'll consider going all in
okay.
with the 3-gate Stargate and maybe using the mothership core for a time warp here and there.
Okay.
Or
So
if he
yeah, it looks like he only got 1 kill with the Oracle there and got pushed away by the Stalker, so not a lot of damage done. He is sending out a second Oracle, so I don't think the second Oracle is going to get anything though because he's already well defended against it with the Stalkers.
right, I don't know if I would have done this play, especially with the mothership core being out so long and all the stalkers already warped in. He was already on the defensive for the Oracle. He probably could have saved it to bolster his army or maybe for a couple of revelations later to give away the enemy's army position. So yeah, not a great pickup there from his second Oracle, but
Yeah, he did force out the photon overcharge from Smithy, so Smithy had to use that early energy from the mothership core to make sure he killed off that Oracle. The Oracle didn't really get, only got 1 probe, I believe. He only got, let me check that. Okay. Yeah, it looks like he only got 1. 1 on both of those Oracles. So now he's coming back. It looks like he's coming back in with the other Oracle, but the Stalkers are right there to kind of push it away. He does. I think he stopped using the energy, so he's going to save up the energy and then probably hopefully take that Oracle back home. Does an expansion scene from Vash, and then an Immortal from another Immortal from Smithy, and he did use, like you said, he did use that Revelation on Smithy's army there.
I think he saw the army was there, and he decided to expand once he knew the army was staying there. And the Revelation was really handy for that, so
Yeah,
props to him for that play.
yeah, definitely could keep track of the army, standing army when you use the Revelation skill at least. So he already knows that when Smithy pushes out, he's gonna be able to see it.
Yeah, he sees this attack coming, so he should be able to deflect it with a fair amount of ease. He just did a warp in, so.
Okay, we'll see what happens. Looks like Smithy's still going to push up and in with his 2 Immortals. He's got 2 Sentries, 4 Stalkers, and a few Zealots here. Guardian Shield used by Vash, leading with the Zealots. And he does a couple Force Fields going down, and there's the mass recall. So no damage done by Smithy, and he had to use up more of that energy. by the Mothership Core. So who do you think's leading so far in this game? Vash by quite a margin, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, Vash is leading, especially in economy. But he doesn't seem to be doing a whole lot of teching, although he just got his own robotics facility out. Uh, Smithy's getting his Templar archive, so I think he has a little bit more of a tech advantage at this point, or at least he will once that drops. And but I guess we'll see what happens as the game progresses.
Yeah, I mean, we're not seeing. He's going to be a little behind in upgrades as well because Smithy got his upgrade started ahead of Vash, but Vash did just have his forge drop, so we might see upgrades coming out of that soon. Did he get any upgrades by his Cybernetics core? Doesn't look like he did. Mm-hmm.
Yep, still 0-0 for his whole army for Vash.
Okay.
Whereas Smithy's coming up on 1-0.
Okay, so he did get out an observer to see because he knows Smithy's known for going DTs. So when you're known for going DTs, it's always helpful to have an observer out to make sure that you don't lose a base all of a sudden to DT. So he puts down cannons, gets out an observer. He's going to be well protected against any type of Dark Templar play.
Hmm.
Okay, so now he's pushing out with this large army here. I don't know. The Oracle on the other end does some damage as well. It's now got 7 kills. Is Smithy going to be able to hold off this attack coming up by Vash?
I don't know. With those Void Rays, it's going to be tough. He needs to get some anti-air out. Hopefully he does have enough for a photon overcharge, and he just got another gateway producing. So,
oh, look at this though. There's a warp end going on at his base. It looks like Smithy used a warp prism drop, and that caused a recall by Vash. He did stop it before it did any damage, but he had to bring his army all the way back.
That was a great move by Smithy. He must have saw the army moving out, and maybe he thought he couldn't defeat it. So putting a little bit of pressure over in the other base is a great way to get your opponent to send their army back.
Absolutely.
Excellent play.
All right, so we're now seeing he has completed +1 attack, and he's just going straight for +2 attack. Try to get the early upgrade advantage with his melee forces. Now, what does he need to do to combat the army by Vash, though, with these Void Rays and the heavy air advantage that Vash has?
He needs. I mean, he needs to get some. He needs to get some storms for sure. I'm not against Void Rays. I think Archons do pretty well, so some of those would be nice too. Anything that can really hit those clumped up units, because Void Rays like to clump. And yeah, but the thing about Vash's army is it's a lot of zealots, and Archons really tear through zealots as well. So any gas-based unit here coming up would be pretty good from Smithy.
Okay, so we are seeing a Dark Shrine now go down for Smithy, so it looks like he is going to wind up trying to go DTs at some point in this game. Either that or he's just going to use the DTs to morph Archons, but I would actually lean towards him using DTs just because that seems to be his style.
One of those guys, huh?
Yeah, just one of those guys that likes to use DTs. He does cancel. He was about to build his third, but then he had to cancel it because that army just came right up. And now we're going to see a huge engagement. Smithy's got to pull back inside. Force fields, good force fields, but there are the storms you were talking about. Storms going down by Smithy kinds of forces back Vash's army.
Yep. If Smithy had an Archon in that engagement, he might have even done a little bit better because he would have been able to break the force fields. But as it stands, it looks like,
he's just kind of walking in now. Those Void Rays chewed up those Zealots, but more storms going down. And those Zealots are getting trapped by Smithy's forces, so he does a great job on the Zealots. And now he's going to morph some Archons to see if he can take care of the rest. of this army. But actually, good job by Smithy forcing back Vash's forces.
Yep, and now he can feel free to expand, throwing that army back, and we'll see this develop into a big macro game for sure.
That is one of the things. Like right now, he is a little behind. Vash already has his third down, whereas Smithy's just taking his. So he is going to be a little behind economically. And you got to also look out. You got this Oracle sitting over here. You got a proxy pylon. So that third could be under heavy attack throughout the game. You could see the Oracle coming through right now. And here's the main attack, though. Main attack coming in by Smithy. He's going to try to take out this third, get an economic advantage. Look at that force field. That force field prevented
Ooh.
him from getting Vash's forces into the mix. However, the photon overcharge does prevent Smithy from taking out, and he will have to mass recall.
That was a great attack by Smithy. He knew. I think he knew at that point that he was probably economically behind, and needed to get in there and do some damage. The force fields were well placed, knowing he didn't have any massive units in his army, and that was actually a job well done. It didn't work out too well, and Vash was able to deflect him in the end. But overall, good attempt, and this third is a little bit damaged. And I guess we'll see what happens from here.
Yeah, at this point, because that third, is already, you can kind of sneak in a zealot. You might be able to sneak in a zealot attack later on and just focus down the third if possible, and that's something we might see as well later on. So right now we're seeing those DTs we're talking about. They're coming out. I doubt they're gonna do any damage though, because they're gonna walk right into these line of cannons.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yep, and there they are. Just one gets picked off by the cannons. The other one's gonna go for that forge, but he's got the observer right there. Should be able to kill him pretty fast. Huh? Where's his observer? He might lose his forge.
I don't think there's any observer.
Huh? Oh, just barely saves it. Wow. He had to use the Oracle. The Oracle's.
Yeah, I think Vash almost forgot he had that one.
Yeah, that Oracle has been a hero. 9 kills and came up with the clutch envision to detect the Dark Templar there.
That Oracle is the hero Oracle. One thing in Protoss versus Protoss is you always want to have the advantage in upgrades, and losing a forge isn't going to help you do that. So, well done there.
Oh yeah, yeah. His 2-2 was over a third done, so that would have certainly set him back a little bit there. Looks like he has a Colossus sitting over here. I'm not sure. At some point he's gonna try to get this Colossus involved. He's got another one coming out, so. And that will actually give him 4 Colossus once that other one pops, which is pretty strong. Against this many
this army's...
Archons and Colossus, who do you think wins that engagement?
I actually don't know right now. There's a lot of Stalkers over for Vash, and Stalkers don't go really good late PvP, especially with these type of army compositions. But so if upgrades were even, I'd say the Colossus Force has the advantage. But upgrades are not even. Smithy has a huge upgrade advantage.
And these are pretty good storms, too. He is going to use some Revelation, but those storms are really chewing up those forces. This is going to be a tough hold for Vash. All these storms just doing so much damage, and he's going to have to reinforce fast just to try to hold this push. Man, those storms really just chewed through Vash's army.
Absolutely, and it's a tough break, especially against all those storms. But the Colossus, once they pull back to the base, they're doing their job, of holding back this army.
Yeah, Colossus are going to pull back. They're gonna eat up the initial wave of Zealots, and now those Zealots can go to work on the Archons. And now once again, Smithy has to mass recall just when you think he's about ready to break. Vash holds him off yet again. And he's taking a 4th now. So now economically, I think you really got to be favoring Vash here.
Absolutely. That was an excellent defense by Vash, and it really put him in a position to take the lead in this game. Smithy's doing good, but his army composition is compared to Vash's isn't that great, and I would he's stuck on three bases while Vash is getting his fourth, so it looks like Vash is taking the leader.
Okay, so let's take a look and see. We're seeing +3 now for Vash. Looks like wow, it looks like a DT there from Vash is now starting to do some damage. But I think he should have tried to focus down more of the probes instead of going after that army. Could have done maybe a little more
Uh,
damage.
yeah, well, it was strange because there was actually an observer in the army, but the army didn't attack the DT for a long time. Going for the probes probably would have put Vash a little bit further ahead. Maybe it was just a I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he thought he could take advantage of an observer not being there and go for the army and maybe go for the win. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what was being thought there.
Yeah, it's possible. He may just be trying to get inside Smithy's head a little bit, going DTs and saying, "Hey, I can go DTs too," and make
You're
you
not
think.
the only one.
Right. Now, over here, right now, this base does not have any detection in it, and it looks like he may even lose it to this army that's come around. Yeah, he should lose this base fairly easily. He's going to lose that fort, so this is a nice push here. However, on the other end, DTs are, well, the one Zealot was attacking Smithy's force, but DTs actually came around and saved that. So this is a good trade-off by Smithy. He went from being a base behind, and now he's right back in it.
Yeah, he deflected that attack with a DT, and that was definitely a good move. And now his fourth base is further along than Bash, the old switcheroo. This is a great game. I haven't seen a PvP like this in a long time.
But here we go. We're going to see some DTs from Vash, and it's going to force the cancel on the force. So back and forth we go. A lot of use of DTs in this game, and it looks like now Smithy's going to pull out his army to the front. Going to take care of this proxy pylon up there, but he doesn't realize there is a proxy pylon in the back as well. And I don't think he even knows about it still.
Yeah, the proxy pylon by Vash's game, the use of the pylons by Vash's game has been outstanding. He's had proxy pylons since the beginning, and they've always caused a lot of damage. They've always caused damage to Smithy here.
All right, so let's see. We're having a warp in by Smithy that is going to go in and try to do some damage to Vash. Meanwhile, Vash's army is kind of just was circling around. He thought maybe he was going to attack, but no big engagement there. Instead, we're going to see some damage being done. It looks like he is going to try to focus down this third, like we said. I don't know if he's going to be able to get it now, though, because Vash warps in and might... Oh, it's going to be close. It's going to be close. Oh! Oh, my goodness. 4 health on that Nexus. And a huge engagement going on the back. And storms are going down. I don't think Vash is going to be able to break this force. This is pretty good hold here by Smithy. DTs are going to come in. Does he have the Observer? I don't think he has it. He doesn't.
It doesn't look like his Observer was killed, and the DTs are just the thing to push back this army.
Oh, yeah, the DTs should... Well, he does end up... his Observer does come on over and does stop those DTs, so now... Things are getting a little dicey now for Smithy, because he wasn't... It looked like he was going to hold, but it just didn't quite work out. He did a great job with that. I was going to say, the attack at Vash's main, he almost took down that third, and it's alive with 4 health. But now he's going to come in and finish it up. He just warped in, did another warp in, and finished it up.
And again, back and forth we go.
Yep, and those Void Rays are going to take out the remaining Colossus on the field. However, those Zealots, we're going to have a little Zealot engagement going on in the main here, along with a couple DTs by Smithy. I don't think these Zealots are going to... Yeah, these Zealots are going to get pushed back, by cleaned up by Smithy's forces. And then the Void Rays should clean up the rest of the Zealots that are currently attacking. But now... With Smithy only on 2 bases, is there anything he can do?
It's going to be tough. He only has one mining base right now. He has to get out and cause some damage. The good thing is that the army composition of Vash is really weak to the Void Ray, and he has five of them. So he might be able to get up there and take out a couple of his mining bases and get back in the game. But it's not looking good for Smithy right now. No.
No. Well, looks like some remote mining going on right now by Vash. He's going to send up the rest of his probes probably to his... Well, no, he's already oversaturated on his fourth. I don't know where he's going with all these probes. He's kind of just sending them along to the next... I guess he's going to try to remote mine from way up here.
That's an interesting play.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's not bad. I mean, well, his probes are just kind of sitting chilling. I think he thought that they could remote mine to his fourth, but they're not doing it. And it looks like he is going to get attacked at his fourth base now. He really can't. I mean, he doesn't want to lose his fourth because his third is... Well, he just got his third up, and his third is mined out, though, so heavily. He kind of wanted to hold that fourth.
Yeah, and once more, they're even in mining bases, so...
Well, let's take a look at the income here. Looks like... Actually, Smithy has the income mineral advantage. Vash has been relegated to just one mining base. That's his third, and that's low on minerals. So, but Vash is going to try to... It looks like Vash is going to try to do another push here with his main force.
He did end up taking out this base again.
Oh, did take out the third. Okay. So, I mean, this force, he got a lot of Void Rays, but those Archons and Stalkers, I don't think that those Void Rays can handle it.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough against them. There are a lot of, well, I mean... He's... By now, the upgrade advantage is gone for Smithy. This is gonna be a tough fight.
All right, so he's pushing up into the main base. He is gonna take out a lot of the unit producing structures here. He's taking out the gateways. A couple zealots warped in, but they're not gonna be enough. Let's see if Smithy is gonna be able to fight. He's got to get those stalkers involved against those Void Rays, or Vash could end up losing this battle if he doesn't get his Colossus and his stalkers all involved in this fight. So he is... Those Void Rays, yeah, those Void Rays are going to pick off those Stalkers pretty well, and actually Smithy's going to be able to hold this back. I didn't think it was going to happen. I didn't, because he had enough Stalkers and Archons to deal with those Void Rays.
Yep, actually, if they choked off the ramp there, that could have been spelled bad news for Smithy. But they allowed his zealots in and get the surround on a lot of Vash's forces, and he was able to pull it off.
Okay, so one DT here for Vash. Gonna maybe head back up and try to clean up the rest of these production buildings. At this point, you got a mining base by Smithy. Vash's third is still up. He did throw down his fourth, so he should still be... He's now ahead double in the mineral and gas production, so he still is well in control of this game. And, well, what does Smithy have to do to come back?
Smithy has to get rid of this DT in his base. I think he's going for all the pylons, and that's going to cause a problem for us later. He also has to take a base, and he's trying that right now. He still knows that Void Ray force is probably pretty good against whatever Vash has, so he's really trying to get back even here in this game, but it's an uphill battle at this point. But I've said that about 3 times before in this game, so I'm hoping to be proved wrong.
All right, so that fourth is going to go down for Vash. The Void Rays take it out. That DT just doing so much work, though, in Smithy's base. It's taken down pretty much all of the pylons. He's only got those 2 Stargates left. I think this is just going to be an all-in for Smithy. He just hopes that this is going to do it, but I don't think there's any way at this point that... I mean, he's got a couple more gateways, but losing all of his tech structures like that, I just don't see it happening. Couple storms. Storms do some good damage. Blink on to these Void Rays, and he's going to focus the Void Rays down. And I think that's going to do it for Smithy's army. And I don't I think that's just about all she wrote.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Smithy can get back in this game. The Dark Templar is still going to town. Two Dark Templar are going to town now, but he's still making things out of his Stargate. Uh,
Yeah.
he has a couple of zealots running around another DT. If anybody can get it done with DT, certainly it's Smithy.
But with this economic advantage still in Vash's favor, and he's got a larger, much larger standing army, I don't see. He's got to try to rush in with some zealots now and maybe try one last attack, but I don't. Even though he took out several of Vash's bases, he just never seemed to be able to get the strong advantage. Seems like Vash kind of just held the advantage throughout the game.
Yeah, Vash was definitely always on the offensive. Uh, Smithy made a few counters that were good and certainly kept him in the game. It was really hard fought, and even now Smithy's getting going for the gas production of Vash, making sure he can't get those get those gas heavy units out. But it's tough. But I'm gonna have to give it to Vash at this point, especially with the DT still going on in Smithy's base.
Yeah, he's just allowing that DT to just totally wipe out everything that was up there. He never bothered to check that out. But I mean, he's got now are some gateways, a couple cannons, and one base mining. I mean, those zealots, they did some work for him. They got let's see how many kills we got on these zealots. You know, 1, 2, 2, 2. Zealots did some damage to those probes, but just
And you know, it's funny if you look at the income now.
oh yeah, look at that.
Smithy is in the lead.
Look at that. Smithy somehow has still managed to take out all of Vash's income. And actually,
So
with the standing army of Vash, wow, Vash doesn't have any income. He just has gas. So he's
we
trying to
might be
remote
eating
mine.
our words.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know though. I mean, with this, all he has to do is go in and attack. That's all. All he has to do is go attack his base down here. Maybe he doesn't know it's down here, but that's pretty much it. If he just goes down and attack, he can take out that standing army, no problem. He just has to go and attack.
And that's exactly what he's doing.
I mean, maybe with the cannons and all of his probes working, he might be able to hold that off. But once the cannons aren't in play either, he should have no problem against the rest of Smithy's zealots. Smithy is going to try to double expand here, just keep this game going on as long as humanly possible.
Vash is content remote mining from his fourth. However, those zealots are continuing to kill all those probes. I mean,
They're just walking into that death trap. Yeah, he's just sending
I,
probes up there to die.
I think what it's going to come down. Well, there's nothing that shoots up for Smithy, so he's got to be careful of that void ray. And if Vash keeps his observer with his army, it should be that should be it. I mean, but it's I mean, never say die, right? It's exactly what's happening now.
Yep, I mean, he pretty much just keeps going, keeps going. At some point, if Vash should, expand to make sure he doesn't run out of buildings against this force that Smithy's using. He does have one void ray out there now, starting to go to work on these zealots, and eventually the zealots are he's gonna run out of zealots. He's got a couple DTs gonna go there as well, and no detection for Smithy. So this should be it at this point. But wow, this game is just keeps going.
I don't know how to call this anymore because now Smithy is mining again,
Yep, but
and he has a
yeah, he has the Twilight Council. He has the one gateway, but I mean, there's just still
oh
nothing.
yeah. I mean, from what I understand, Vash does not know where he is. He did send a scout up here, but he didn't continue to find the base. He does find the cyber core.
Okay, but that's big though, because that way you can't build stalkers. You can't continue to
Mm.
build construction stuff, and right here, he's getting out a Robo facility. He doesn't
Which
have
is
any
exactly
gas.
what he needs to deal with those Templar, but he still doesn't have anything that shoots up.
Right.
Except for one lone Stalker, which...
Hero Stalker?
Against a Void Ray, that's gonna have... two Void Rays, excuse me. That's gonna have to be some hero.
Yep. Some, Does he have blink? I don't think he didn't end up getting blink, did he? Or did he?
He got Blink.
He
He
got,
got
oh yeah,
Blink
he
in
got,
charge.
so I mean, if you just keep blinking away, keep the shields up, but, you know, the Void Ray
Right,
with
have
one
your...
prismatic alignment is gonna take care of that Stalker pretty quick, though.
Oh, he's found the base. I think it's over now.
Yep, he gets out the observer. Smithy's gonna send his probes up, maybe try to build another base somewhere, but at this point,
Does have an Observer. Oh, the Archons...
yep, Void Rays are
Oh,
gonna go to town.
he's... He was getting the Zealot Concave.
Yep, but I think the
Eh,
Zealot Concave just ended, and there's the GG. Well played. That was a good game.
That was a great game by both players. They should be proud of themselves.
Yeah, that was interesting to watch. Wow, 48 minutes that game went on. Whew. Well, that gives Team Composite a 2-0 lead, and Vash pulls out the victory over Smithy in a 50-minute match. Featured a lot of back and forth, but it always felt kind of like Vash had the advantage in the game, and Smithy wasn't able to really catch up to him economically until at the end when he ran out of mining bases.
Yeah, it's hard opening Robo Facility against the Stargate play. He deflected the Stargates very well early game, the Oracles very well early game. But as the game grew later and later on, the lack of defense to set second base for Smithy, I think just put him just a tiny bit behind, and he was just a tiny bit behind the rest of the game as a result.
Right, right, absolutely. A lot of great plays though by both players. Got to tip my hat off to both of them. Well fought game. But Team Composite ends up getting the win. So we'll move right on actually to our third game here. Let's see who we got listed as the third game. Actually it was Blizz Freak versus Genius, but that was a walkover in favor of Team Composite. So that actually gives Team Composite a 3-0 advantage, and we're gonna go ahead and move on to the fourth game because that was just a walkover in Team Composite's favor. So, fourth game is going to be Zakor versus Dino Dan. I believe is this the diamond matchup on Daedalus Point. Guns and Roaches Zakor versus Team Composites Dino Dan, and this is a PVT matchup. And it is the diamond matchup for the week. Now, our other diamond matchup was the best out of 3. However, we do not have the replays for that game, so that game will not be casted. That is the ace matchup. Unfortunately, they were not uploaded, and we are unable to cast it at this time. So we'll just have to make do with what we've got. Okay, and what's your early call on this game?
For both of them, I think probably we're gonna see some. I'm gonna hope for a new Widow Mine drop from Terran there. They just buffed Widow Mines, why not? And maybe Protoss is gonna just play standard, go for the early Colossus, and then transition into Zealot Templar, that type of thing.
Okay, so spawning in the lower right-hand corner from Guns and Roaches, it is the Diamond Protoss Zakor. And spawning in the top left-hand corner from Team Composite is the Yellow Terran, Dino Dan. Okay. So yeah, I don't on this map. Who do you think favors Protoss or Terran? Is this map more of a Protoss favored map, or is this a map more of inclined for drops and
Ooh, I don't know. There's a lot of open space for drops, but early Reaper play is kind of limited because the first ramp is small.
right?
So, I would say about even. It's hard for the Protoss to wall off the second base or do some type of wall off for the second base. But that's really only relevant, I guess. PVZ. I'm not really sure. I haven't played this map enough to know, to be honest.
All right. So we're seeing the Protoss trying to do some early scouting, a little early harassment on that Terran building the base. I know you like to do that a lot when you play team games. You like to attack that worker working
Oh,
on the building to try to delay his barracks. It's always a great play, but
oh yeah, it's always a cute thing to do. At the very least, it'll take another worker off, and slow down some mining time a little bit. At the very best, you'll get a free worker, no problem.
right. Okay, we are seeing a Reaper come out from Dino Dan. He's gonna probably just a scouting Reaper. Take a look and looks like he's sending him on over to take care of this probe, just in case that probe is trying some kind of proxy play. But yeah, he loses that probe pretty quick, and then Dino Dan goes ahead and expands. So, and also expansion taken by the Protoss player as well. So, looks like a fairly macro game.
Uh, yeah, I would say so. The mothership core is coming out for Protoss, so that indicates that they'll probably be on the defensive. It's a pretty standard thing to go for the second reactor. The reactor after the first Reaper on the barracks. And yeah, no more tech coming out for the Terran. He does have the second barracks coming, but I don't see anything exciting happening for the next minute or so, at least.
I mean, probably not for the next 2 or 3 minutes. Probably. I mean, he's throwing down a bunker. He's probably just going to be teching up. Both these players probably just going to be building. Looks like he is going to throw down a Twilight Council. Now, I think this is more for getting Storm and High Templars, or is he going to try a DT play?
Uh, Actually, Blink's pretty powerful against Terran, and it's also pretty powerful on this map due to from the wide open spaces. I don't know a lot about the map, but I think Blink would be a great way to harass the Terran player, especially at his second,
Oh,
as natural.
yeah, Blink is known for being very strong against, right now, against Terran on a lot of these maps this season. There's been a lot of complaints about Blink just being extremely powerful, and that's exactly what he's getting. He's getting Blink now. So it looks like he's probably going to try, I'd almost assume, like some kind of 7-gate Blink play would be a reasonable assumption to make about what he's doing right now.
I just have to make a comment about Protoss's positioning. Right here, the Reaper just tried to jump in, and the Zealot and Stalker were right there for him, as well as the Reaper also tried to scout the natural before, and the mothership core was waiting right there for him. So I had little details like that I'm really fond of. So that was good play by the Protoss player.
Yeah, that was. I mean, it's he's just in a really good positioning by his units to kind of defend against any sort of scouting or harassment by either player. And we are seeing got 4, 5, 6 gates right now. So here it comes. That heavy Blink all. I think it's going to be 2-base Blink all in play. That's what it's looking like right now.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. One must fall. Where is the? Yeah, Blink is being chrono boost, get that out as quickly as possible, and he's up there to put out the proxy pylon. We're gonna see some action here in a minute or so.
And do you think he's going to be able to hold it off? Just one bunker, some Marines out, and does the Terran even know it's coming? I mean,
It does not look like it. A Terran, in order to counter this, a Terran needs to get the bunkers out, and he needs to start getting Marauders. And that's two things that he's not doing. He has two Marauders out right now, and he's got a second tech lab. I think he's going to be too caught off guard for this. He has units in the right.
Here they come on in, and they're going to go immediately for that tech lab, which was, looks like it was building combat shield. He's going to go for the surround by these SCVs, but he just blinks away. Did get some damage done, did some tech lab damage, but now Terran's going to be out of position because now you can come up in the front and attack this bunker, and there's nothing Terran can do because his forces are all gone, and he's going to lose the bunker, and he's going to start losing these SCVs as well, which came up to repair that bunker. Excellent time warp there by the mothership core, and this is going to be so tough now for the Terran to hold.
Yeah, I think that unfortunately a Terran player was caught a little bit too off guard with this. He needed really either to scout the proxy pylon or scout the Twilight Console. It just didn't happen. Denying that Reaper Scout really helped the Protoss, and I think it was just.
And there's the GG. Yep, that was it. Quick GG and tap out by Dino Dan. And that will get GNR on the board. Now down 3 games to 1. Yeah, Blink, if you don't see it coming, you don't scout it, you don't know. And that's something about that match is that it did such a great job preventing the scouting.
Right. I think the Terran possibly thought it might be coming, but because he wasn't sure, he just did, because he got the second tech lab.
Right.
But because he wasn't sure, he wasn't willing to drop those bunkers you need to stop the push, and it was kind of like a halfway type of defense thing, and it just didn't work out too well.
No. Okay, so we'll
may I? Could you give me 30 seconds and I will be right back?
Absolutely, yep. We're going to take a short break for 30 seconds, ladies and gentlemen, so just please hold and we'll be right back.
Thank you.
All right, and we're back. So we're going to be looking at our 5th matchup here. It's the bronze-silver matchup, Cool Jut versus Mr. AA. We'll go ahead and hop right on into that game. And I believe this is going to be a Terran versus Zerg matchup on Habitation Station. So spawning across from each other. Should be an interesting match.
I played Terran. Terran versus Zerg always used to be my hardest matchup.
Yeah, it's always Zerg's always, especially when you're in the lower levels, avoiding bailing hits. I know is always a tough thing for lower level Terrans because you just don't. I mean, I still can't avoid Terran
Yeah, right.
bailing hits. So okay,
It's a tough.
so if you'd like to do us the honors here and announce the
Absolutely.
players.
Okay. Spawning in the upper left, sporting the yellow Zerg, is Composites Mr. AA. And then spawning in the upper right, playing the red Terran, is Guns N' Roses Cool Job.
Guns and Roaches. Guns and
Guns N'
Roaches.
Roaches.
But
Oh man,
that's what they're going for though. They're going for Guns and Roses, but it's
it's a good band. It just got started getting songs in my head.
yep, yep. Uh, all right. So early on, we're just seeing there's just no early aggression from Zerg. Not 6 pool or 10 pool. Looks like he's just going to drone up and probably expand. He is scouting is natural right now. And Terran's going to throw down barracks to wall off. Always good to wall off versus Zerg. Okay. And it looks like he's actually going to send out drone to scout as well. And now, do you normally scout Terran with a drone?
Uh, you can. I would say you could do it just to make sure there's a Reaper opening coming. Now I don't think Mr. AA got sight of both the refineries, so I don't really know what he was doing so much. Maybe making sure that Terran isn't going for a greedy early command center first expand.
Yeah.
Uh, but typically, if you're doing a macro play with Zerg, I don't see a reason to scout. Since you're going to be playing defensive anyway.
Okay. Yep. Looks like there was a little pause there, so they unpause and let's sporadic. I always find it interesting when you pause and then you unpause. It collects all the chat in those 2 seconds and just
You get some pretty interesting stories with that.
yep. And so there's a spawning pool about ready to drop there. He is has his expansion about ready to complete as well. And let's see, doesn't have any gas yet, so we're probably gonna see a continued safe build, maybe an early third from Zerk.
Yeah, with no gas yet, I'd expect something like that. Otherwise, I mean, non-speed lings aren't really great against Terran, especially if they wall off. Um, so yeah, I would expect the third expansion here pretty quick, possibly getting a greeted gold.
Oh yeah, that gold. Well, that's the thing about this map is that the gold is wide open and pretty pretty easy to take and not all that hard to defend either. So this is definitely a map you can take the early gold and try to get greedy.
Hmm?
And looks like a bunker going down for Terran. So he's gonna. Now, what do you think about that bunker placement? I don't know.
I, I'm not a fan of it, to be honest. It covers the ramp a little bit, but it doesn't cover all the way up the ramp, so you can't get shots on all the Zerglings up there. I'd much rather see a second wall off with the bunker in it instead of the bunker being placed right there. But that's just my preference.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't know if that bunk. See, it just seems like the bunker allows you to get easy access to the bunker. He's gonna try to do like a wall. It looks like he's gonna try to do a wall off there across, but still, you kind of allow lings to come in around the back, and I don't know if the bunker can reach him all the way in the back of his natural there.
Right? It's close and It's not. It's certainly not as safe as a wall off. So I agree with you. I would have much rather seen it up forward more, as to getting that ramp into the expansion rather than back there.
Okay, and
Another
let's.
thing that bunker placement does is let them get vision by coming up at the bottom of the ramp. They can come up, peek, and see what's going on up there, probably without getting shot by the bunker.
Yeah, because there's so much space there. Now, on the back end, we see that Zerg has two Evo chambers going on. He's doing his own type of wall. He's going to put up a spine crawler, have the queens there to also complete the wall. I actually love queens as part of a wall strategy because a lot of times they do a great job of forcing back. At least in ZVZ, they do a great job against speedlings for just taking damage and
Hmm. Well, another thing they do is they tank Hellions super well, and preventing the Hellions from getting in your base and roasting all your drones is really actually it's happening now.
yeah, look at that. Four Hellions came up, and what happened was one Hellion went down to 8 HP, and they ran away. that was that was a pretty much a no go there for those Hellions. Absolutely nothing done, and he's got 6 Hellions now, but he's probably not going to be able to do anything with them.
Hmm. Another thing is that getting that many queens does is dissuade Banshee play, which I know is really popular against Zerg, or at least it used to be.
Yeah, it looks like that's why he's got 2 spore crawlers as well. I mean, if Banshees come up there, uses cloak. Not gonna. He's got spores all over the place, so he's really playing defensively. However, I'm surprised he hasn't taken a third. Yeah, I mean, he,
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of strange. I know I get nervous when I'm playing Zerg and I see myself at the same number of bases as a Protoss or Terran player.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe he just hasn't gotten over there to take a look. Now, did he see that Banshee coming out? Because it is. He does. Banshee's now coming. I don't think this Banshee's going to be able to do any damage. There's really no openings at all for him to do anything. Because you got spores pretty much everywhere and countered by queens. So,
Hmm.
be
Yeah,
tough.
it's gonna be hard pressed to get any work done with these Banshees. But
He might be able to get this third here. It's it's open and undefended right now. He is going to be able to poke here. Those queens should get over.
he's doing some damage, and he just goes just out of range of those spore crawlers.
So we're going to see another spore go up. Yeah, he just can't quite see him. Now, does he have... He does have a lair. He could get out a overseer to kind of against these cloaked banshees instead of continuing to have to build spores, because that's tough if you have to continue to build spores
Yeah.
everywhere, you know?
Oh, he just got one. Yeah.
Okay, but now this third is under heavy fire. It's going to be... Zerg's going to be hard pressed to save this third. If Terran's careful, which he's not, he's just letting himself getting ripped up by those queens. And now you're down to 1 Banshee. See, if you had kept both Banshees alive, you might have been able to pick off this third.
Yeah. It, I'm not sure. Maybe it was just a missed micro part on the Terran. But you want to keep those Banshees alive. If not to take out the third, then to take out any Baneling attacks that come by, and that looks like exactly what the Zerg is going to do.
Yeah, generally with Banshees, you want to try to keep them in along the ridges. And right there, I mean, he's along the ridge, but the wrong side. I mean, he's on the opposite side of where he needs to be, which pretty much almost lost to both Banshees. So right now, Terran,
Mm.
he's getting some upgrades. He's got some medevacs. He does have a couple Widow Mines out here, and he's got just building lots of medevacs and a lot of barracks. So this is probably going to be a heavy bio with upgrade play. Looks like.
Uh, let's see. Yeah, he's starting to get his bio out. It looks like he's favoring Marauders, which is an interesting choice against the Zerglings and Banelings. They tank the Banelings really well, but they don't do so hot against the Zerglings. So we'll see what happens there.
Maybe trying to use the Widow Mines against the Zergling. This looks like what he's going to do. He's going to use the Widow Mines to take out the Zerglings and tank any Baneling. hits.
Right, right,
And they also tend to do more damage to spines as well, the Marauders, so. Or
right.
survive longer anyway.
Well, he does have stim and he does have 1/1, so I believe that makes him even with a Zerg player. Usually Zerg, correct me if I'm wrong. Zerg wants to stay ahead in upgrades.
Yeah, I think Zerg
Uh,
wants to stay ahead in everything. You want to stay ahead in bases, you want to stay ahead in upgrades, because your units just aren't quite as powerful. Ever.
right.
You know? So, unless you have. The whole idea of Zerg is like the swarm. So, unless you have tons of units, you can lose pretty easily to similar similar unit amount of units Terran army.
Absolutely.
All right, so I mean,
Zerg is
yeah,
doing something interesting down there.
yeah, he might have been. I don't know. Maybe he's checking to see there's no third down there. I don't. I don't think he can. I don't know if he can. I don't think he can win against this force right now. If Terran is decent with this micro, right? If he runs, if Zerg goes in and runs in, he's gonna get eaten up by those Widow Mines. So I think that's why he's not going into attack. So it's kind of a little chess game right now.
Right, and it's for lower league players. I'm not trying to diss on them. It is hard for them to use the Widow Mines effectively. I know it's a problem for me.
Yep, here's the
And it
heavy
seems like
surround. Heavy surround coming in, and all those links. They cleaned out actually up those Terrans pretty well, and those Widow Mines never got burrowed, so they were pretty useless. However, he does have 8 Marauders still alive, so. But problem is they can't shoot up, so.
yeah, that's another problem with having a Marauder heavy force against Mutiling Baneling is that usually when you see the Banelings and the Zerglings, it means you're going to see Mutalisks too, and Marauders don't do great against Mutalisks at all.
No, I think that's why he wanted those Widow Mines, because Widow Mines do great against Mutalisks, but he didn't get them down. Now he does get a couple good hits off. That Overseer did tank the one Widow Mine shot. Something actually Overseers are pretty good at, tanking Widow Mine shots.
Yeah, it seems to be their calling.
Yeah.
In every game I've seen, they at least suck up 4 or 5 of those things.
So, I mean, that's something you could actually do. You could just send in a bunch of Overseers, tank up all the Widow Mine shots, and then go in there and with your mutas and clean up the heavy ground army.
Hmm.
Looks like
The Terran player though has an absurd amount of Widow Mines. Like from what I've seen, usually forces are like 4 or 5 Widow Mines, and then mostly Marine. But this Terran player is playing really hard on the Widow Mine. It seems to be paying off for him.
yeah, he's got. It looks like he's got 6 right now. He's got 6 Widow Mines. He did lose a bunch earlier. He's got 18 Marauders, 14 Marines, and 12 medevacs. That's a lot of medevacs. And then 23 Banelings, 10 Mutas. Oh, this is going to be a big engagement here. Ling's leading the way. He does stem away. Is he going to be able to get away? Oh, he's going to walk him into those Widow Mine shots. I don't... Man, those Widow Mines are connecting. I mean, Banelings are connecting, excuse me. He does end up surrounding the Marauders pretty well there. This going to be a tough hold for Terran.
Oh yeah, the Widow Mines, unfortunately, they do splash damage to the Terran army as well. So that didn't work out possibly as good as it could have for him.
No, but he does hold it off because he was able to get at the top. I thought that thought there was more Lings there but apparently those Widow Mines had a couple big hits. Or
There was 70 Lings at the start.
wow. No, he's got
That's a lot of Lings.
Yeah, and now he has a whole bunch more Banelings coming in. So, no, got to see some Marauders. I mean, you got 8 Marauders, 13. Well, 8 Marauders, 14 Marines.
I'm just still nervous about the Terran's force running into Mutalisks when the Widow Mines aren't right on point. It's a scary thing to have an army like that.
Yeah, and there's not enough Widow Mines right now to be an effective force. I mean, he's got 4 on the field, and there's more hits by the Banelings, and this time this time they are gonna swallow up those forces pretty well. Gonna get more hits off on the Marines. 6 Marauders and 6 Marines remaining. Medevacs, though, the biggest problem is those medevacs, they're not boosting away, so they're just dropping like flies now.
Oh, they're losing a lot of them.
Oh, wow. He had,
That's not good for Terran.
no, he had 14 medevacs, and now he's down to 2. And he's gonna be down to none in here in about a second.
Well, the
Yeah.
Mutalisks are a little nervous about attacking those Widow Mines.
Oh, they're terrified. They are terrified of Widow Mines. And we'll see here. I mean, 13 Marines. You got 20 Mutalisks. 2 meta. You could just go in there and do it, but it'd be. Yeah, I don't know. I think he's
Yeah,
so nervous about Widow Mines possibly being up there that he doesn't even want to take a chance, which is the smart play.
right. It is. I mean, Zerg's looking at the map, and he knows the Terran doesn't have a third, and Zerg has 4 bases himself. The Terran also has to be mined out of his first by now. So I think he's content with just waiting, punishing the Terran if he decides to move out. And I think that's going to be his game strategy from here on out.
I did like that play we just saw. He took one Muta, ran him over into the Widow Mine, lost the Mutalist, but then came back with his Overseer and took out both Widow Mines that were sitting there. So that was a nice play to get rid of a couple of the Widow Mines there. And there's still 3 out in front. This army there, but you still only have 2 medevacs for Terran. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's an uphill battle for Terran right now. He is transferring SCVs over to Gold Base, which is exactly what he needs to do at this point. But he also needs to make sure that Gold Base doesn't fall. And with his army composition, that's going to be tough, especially against Mutalisk play.
Yeah, and all those Banelings too. If you see, if he tries to get a heavy Marine focused army against to combat the Mutalists, then he just runs into the whole Baneling army. And if he goes Marauder, um, the Mutas just do what they're doing right now, take out the
Mm.
gold base, and still got a lot of SCVs, but running out of
Oh,
places to mine with them. And here's the big
got it.
force. Baling's hitting in. They're doing a lot of damage. This time they're going to swallow up a lot of the Marauders. 2 Marauders remaining. 1 Marauder. That's it. There is no more army on the floor for Terran, and this should be it. Going in. You got 1 turret. There's the GG. Wow. That was quickly over.
Yeah, that that was a decisive final engagement.
Yeah, he just said, all right, that's it. We're done here. Boom. Dead.
Mm.
And that happened. I don't know. That was like a 10-second engagement. That just all those lings and banelings just came in there, cleaned everything up really fast, and then it was just over. Nothing really Terran
Mm.
could do.
Yeah, at that point, being only on 2 bases for so long, it's really hard to get back into the game, especially against a mutiling baneling player going on 4 bases. In the end, he just didn't have enough to push out or to do anything. He really needed to get that third command center out faster.
Okay. And now we're just gonna take a short 5-minute break here. We'll be right back. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching the stream. Just gonna take a short recess, and we'll be right back with you. Okay, so we're back here. We're gonna move into the next game. I believe that was that our fourth or our fifth game. Let's see.
Let's see.
Well, that was match 5, but we had the one walkover. So this will be match number 6, and this is I believe another gold matchup. Sir Lags a Lot versus Invincible, and let's see where that is. It's a ZVP matchup on Polar Night. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and hop into that game. Another gold matchup. Sir Lags a Lot versus Invincible. Okay, what do you expect to see here in this match on this map between ZVP?
I expect to see Phoenix from the Protoss player, at least some type of Phoenix opener with a Stargate, and I think the Zerg is going to try to go Muta, but then when he sees Phoenix, he's going to go Roach Hydra.
Okay, so real specific there. You have it right down. Okay, so spawning in the lower right-hand corner, the green player from Guns and Roaches. It is the green Zerg, Sir Lags a Lot. And spawning in the top left from Team Composite, it is the yellow Protoss, Invincible. It's not. It's an invincible, not invincible. Invincible. Okay, so see, nothing early. Looks probably like just an early expansion from Sir Lags a Lot. Doesn't look like he's gonna build his spawning pool early here. Let's see, he is sending that drone out.
Alrighty.
But gateway going down from Invincible, so probably some kind of early aggression one base, I would say, just because he's not, if you take your gateway early, you're not going to be expanding, getting really greedy early. So usually you try to attack off one base, not necessarily a one base all in or anything, just some kind of aggression off one base.
Right, especially when you put the gateway in your base and not part of a wall off at your second.
Yeah. And it looks like he's just trying to, right now, he's just using his patrol, going to try to prevent the expansion as long as possible. Maybe delayed it 4 or 5 seconds, but. Spawning pool almost done for Zerg. See anything else interesting going on here?
I don't expect anything hyper techy from Protoss, just because of the fact they haven't gotten a second gas yet. So I don't know. I think at this point it's a little bit too early to tell.
Yeah, I'm almost thinking with one gas. Usually with one gas, that's more typical of a robotics facility. 2 gas early play. Usually you get 2 gas for Stargate, Twilight Council, but for 1 gas, I'm gonna go ahead and take a reasonable guess and say robotics facility.
Right. It's a strange play for this map though, because the map's so open. Usually you see plays more in favor of faster units, but he just might like them Colossus and them Immortals,
Yeah, I mean Immortals wouldn't be bad here. I mean, I seems like a decent map to kind of walk in and do some damage because you got this wide open area here that you can kind of come in from multiple areas with Immortals and Sentries and do some stuff there. But looks like now he's getting a Forge and gateways now a little bit later than we usually typically like to see.
Yeah, he does start a wall off, and that means, well, it means he's going to expand. So he's going three gate, but there's no tech out, which is interesting.
Yeah, I don't know why you don't just. I mean, if you're gonna do that, why not expand earlier if you're gonna do something like that? Because now you're actually in a lot more danger with what he's done here, versus some kind of like speedling, uh, bailing play. Like even speedlings could just get right in here now because there's no cannons out. There's no. You don't have many
Right,
units out. You don't have. You're behind attack. There is the robotics facility though that we were looking for. Um,
right. He does it. It's kind of counterintuitive because if you open up with three gates and then throw down your nexus, you're pretty much saying like I'm gonna get a lot of units so that I can defend. But if you get your nexus down earlier, you can get your production up in such a way that the what I'm trying to say is the economic cost of doing the three gate first allows your Zerg opponent to get so much more of an economic lead that they can just keep throwing lings at you regardless of how many units you got early.
And that's exactly what we're seeing. I mean, we're seeing he's got 40 drones. He's got the supply advantage and he's got a heavy mineral advantage. So he's behind economically and he's not that far ahead army wise either. So kind of the
Mm.
opposite. However, he is going to try to do some damage with some two zealots down at the third expansion.
He
Down
is
at
going to
the
force some lings out.
yeah, so you will it will force out actually forced out about 20 links, so but and they should be able to save. They will be able to save this expansion. So I don't know though. I just don't really like what Protoss has been doing so far. It just seems very 8 minutes in the game. It just seems like he's
Right. I
behind.
mean, he can defend right now, but because of the economy Zerg has, the Zerg has a lot more freedom than the Protoss does. Now the Protoss has to wait until he gets his tech out.
Exactly right. And I mean,
It,
it. I don't.
yeah, it's a tough spot. Although, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Uh, I. Yeah, it's hard to tell to see what he's doing. He hasn't done anything with the robotics facility, so he's not going immortal. He may be trying to get Colossus out. Let's see, gateways. He did get a Twilight Council down, and he is getting up. He's getting upgrades, so he's just stuck on uh
He
tier 1 units.
he might be trying uh, a oh god. He might be trying a +2 attack timing. With what he's doing, he did throw down a chrono boost on the ground weapons upgrade. Maybe that's why he got the Twilight Council. Maybe he's hoping to really up the production in the robotics facility and maybe do some type of Mortal Sentry all in. But he gets stalkers now, so maybe that's
Yeah, I'm just not sure.
I don't know.
It's a kind of a weird build he's going with. I mean, he's getting immortals, but I just feel like now your immortals are gonna be a little late, and he's gonna take a third now. So you got all this army, and now you're gonna go take a third.
Yeah, and the Zerg is starting +1/+1, but he already has the Hydras out or Hydra Den out, excuse me. So
Then he cancels the
uh,
expansion. I just don't know what he's doing. He's got all these minerals. He's not planning on attacking, but he's got an army. And then he wants to expand again, and man, and he's right now he's even supply block. So I don't. And he's gonna go with the five. What I like to see the five pylon. Throw down a quick five pylons. Make sure I never get supply blocked again.
right, the Protoss play seems to be a bit unfocused. He is consistently chrono boosting that +2 though, so he has to be working on some type of timing.
Yeah,
The Zerg player, on the other hand, is really getting some creep spread and getting his plus getting all of his Hydralisk and Roach upgrades. So
I honestly don't think he knows what the hell he's doing because he's getting extended thermal lance, and then he's getting blink. So he's going for get all this different tech options, but he doesn't have any units out that reflect those tech options. So it's just, I mean, it's he's got upgrades. That is one thing you can say. He's definitely got upgrades. He's even getting +3 now. So he's clearly going for some kind of upgrade play. And then I don't know, maybe throw down a. But he hasn't gotten any Colossus, so I don't know. 3-base Colossus, maybe? Nope.
yeah, I'm not. I just can't tell. I mean, the Zerg, we know what he's doing. I mean, he's got his Roach worn down. He's got a Hydra down, just starting the muscular Hydra movement speed. He's got a bunch of macro hatches down, so he's probably gonna bust here pretty quick. But it's just I don't know. I honestly don't know what the Protoss is doing.
Yeah, it's tough to get a read on him. He's even getting a dark DT shrine now. He's getting a Dark Templar shrine, so I guess he's going on every tech path just in case. Would be the best way of describing his play right now. Other than that, it's really hard to get a read on what he's doing. Some kind of 3-base everything play.
Right. The Zerg player is actually doing something interesting right now. He's getting all these upgrades for Roach Hydra, but now he's going. He just went Mutiling.
Well, he is going to come in and attack. He's coming in. No real damage on there, just a little poke, and then he forces out the Photon Overcharge and going to lose a few Roaches to those force fields. Those were good force fields.
They were good force fields. That was a good defense by Protoss. He punched the Zerg for moving in.
But now he's putting out some DTs.
Something going out right there.
Yep, Ling harassment going in. He's going to go in and take out those photon cannons and get up into the main and maybe do some economic damage here. So this is the run by. And actually, this will really.
Zerg's got a 2-prong attack going on. His third's being Protoss's third's being taken out.
Oh yeah, look at that. And he will lose the third. And he's not going to be able. He is going to lose his standing army, but he'll be able to replenish that fast enough. Look at his mineral bank. He's got almost 4,000 minerals and 1,400 gas. I'd love to have that much gas as Zerg. I can never get that much gas.
Yeah, Zerg's got a huge bank here, and considering how
well, yeah, there's the GG. So he called that pretty early, and I just it's really tough to know what Protoss's game was there. I mean, I don't.
Right. His upgrades were good, and he definitely has the makings for a good timing attack there. But he either needs to stick with a Colossus timing, or he needs to stick with some type of Templar timing. Not try and do both.
Right.
Too much off of being on 2 bases for so long.
Yeah, and then if you are going to take a 3rd base, building that kind of army up. First, before taking, that's the thing we saw is like he got like a small army, then would expand, then he got a small army, then would he'd get more for his army, then he would expand, but he never. Then he'd go down like 3 different tech paths, and it was kind of like, I think he was trying to play a little too safe, maybe, and then ended up losing because he was trying to protect against everything and couldn't protect against anything.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah, pretty much. When you think you're playing safe, and actually it puts you behind, so it's not safe anymore. And I think that just happened a little bit too much caution on the side of airing, and the Zerg eventually was able to get the economy to overrun him.
All right, so that will give a victory for Guns and Roaches. That'll bring it to 4-2. Right now, Team Composite, they needed to win one more game to win the week. Our next matchup looks like it's going to be GDP versus Doomshi, or Doomshai, depending on how you pronounce that. Um, and that is going to be on Yansu, and that is a PvP match. So this should be a very interesting game between, and I believe these are platinum, the platinum level match. So we'll go ahead and hop into that and see what happens.
I just found out from Twitch chat from Doomshi himself, it is pronounced Doomshi.
Doomshi. Okay. That's the way I heard it, and I was like Doomshi, but it's spelled Doom. I want to say Doom Shy because it
Right.
kept hearing it Doomshi. I'm like, okay, it's probably Doomshi.
Oh, I get it now.
Okay, so hopping in this game, Yansu. It is a platinum PvP match, and what do you expect to see here in this match? Early aggression or a macro game?
Specifically, like last time. No, I'm just kidding. Uh, I think we're gonna see a macro game.
A macro game? Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. In platinum, a lot of times it's funny, but a lot of times in platinum you see like early aggression one bases. It's weird, but they're really well done. So it's like you just see a one base all in that's like attacks 6-7 minute range, but it's like really well done, like a 3 gate or a 3 gate Stargate or something like that. I don't know if we've seen that, and that's very common for PvPs, but I don't know if we haven't seen that yet. Really.
Yeah, that Oracle could really be a pain for a Terran player, especially if he gets greedy with
Mm-hmm.
this expansion.
Yeah, and so right now we're seeing.
Oh, it's PvP.
Yeah, it's PvP.
Okay.
We're seeing Forge
Well,
go
either way,
down for GDP, so I'm.
a cannon rush.
Yeah, we could see a cannon, and he's in that position. He's definitely cannon rushing.
There we go.
This should be interesting. The gateway going down for Doomshi.
This is beautiful. This brings me back to Brood War, man.
Oh yeah. Now I think though. Oh, he's gonna be scouted really quick. So does he continue on with it? He is. He's gonna continue on with the cannon rush.
He's committed. There's no in between.
Yep. Throwing up two
Oh,
cannons. I don't know. How?
that's good.
What's the best way to hold this? Maybe doing your own. Either doing your own cannon or getting out a stalker quick would be helpful. However, if he loses his
The
probe,
stock
that's
would be.
gonna hurt. Oh, he lost the probe. That could.
That's not gonna be good.
No, that's probably gonna put a nail in this cannon rush right away. Because without the
Now,
probe, you can't do anything.
if Doomshi just gets ready to wall off without the high ground vision, GDP isn't gonna be able to do anything here,
No,
and that's exactly what he does.
he's gonna be at a disadvantage too, because he's gonna be behind economically. So that's
Yep.
unfortunate for GDP, but that's why you always got to be careful when you cannon rush. Keep that probe alive, or get another one down there really quick. And he's trying. He goes down there. He tries to get up there, and he's gonna quickly find out the wall is closed.
Yep, that's not good for GDP. He's behind in his tech because he just got his gateway. He just took a gas while Doomshi's really sitting pretty on almost a well saturated mineral line and a second gas and a stalker out getting ready to take out those cannons.
Yep. Now he's gonna quickly have enough. Uh, I mean, we might see cannons go down from GDP to try to defend himself, or we might just try to hopefully get lucky and hope there's not early aggression. But I don't know. Once you stop a cannon rush well, that's usually exactly what you want to do. Get out early aggression out and put pressure on the player who cannon rushed you to kind of make sure they don't climb back into the game.
Absolutely. I think GDP just wants to try and buy some time until he can get that mothership core out, maybe make some magic happen with a photon overcharge. But right now, he's definitely not looking good. And it looks like Doomshee's getting 2 more gates to press the advantage.
Mm-hmm. And he does already got that proxy pylon down here, so he's getting all set up to do probably a warp in with Stalkers and try to end the game right there. And right now, I mean, there's nothing that GDP can do about it unless he gets ready and gets a mothership core out, gets that energy stored up. Right now, he's not even building a mothership core, so he's just trying to get some gateways, but he doesn't have even warp gates, so he can't.
Well, the throwdown for the Twilight Council is interesting. I'm almost thinking he's hoping he can get the DTs and catch Doomshee off guard.
The problem is he's on one base, so you're not gonna have enough gas really for something like that. And there it is. Oh, he is gonna throw down the DT shrine. Maybe try to base race at the end, but he doesn't have anything on this end, so he is gonna lose everything. And right now his DTs are gonna be quite a while.
Yep, I think it's a little bit too bit too late for
Yep.
GDP here. All he needs to do is focus down that last pylon in this game. Oh.
And it doesn't even have to do that, apparently. There's the GG called, and well, it was a fast game, but it wasn't really intentionally aggressive. It just kind of spiraled out of control once the failed cannon rush.
That's the thing with the cannon rush. If it doesn't work, then bad news bears.
Absolutely. Well, that will win it for the week for Team Composite. However, still have, let's see, I believe we have one more game, and then the ace match, which was unfortunately is not available, unfortunately, due to the replay not being uploaded. So let's see what our final game is going to be here. Looks like it's going to be Drunk Driver versus Corn Muscles, and this is the gold matchup. So we'll go ahead and hop into our final game here tonight. And I don't even know if we have... Oh, there it is. Got a little nervous. Thought we didn't even have that game. I'm like, oh.
Oh, a random player.
Yep. So this is now this is interesting. So he's silver. This is platinum, but I think it's a gold level match. On Daedalus Point. I think Drunk Driver just got into platinum. Corn Muscles plays up in gold.
Okay. Oh, before the lockout? Before he was locked out of it?
I think he just plays in gold in general. Like, but the other guy was in gold and then got up to platinum this week, apparently. So if you'd like to introduce the players for our final matchup.
Thank you. For the top left, spawning as the light blue Terran, it is Guns and Roaches, Drunk Driver. And for Team Composite, spawning in the bottom right, the yellow Protoss, well, yellow random, who spawned as Protoss, Corn Muscles.
All right. So, in our final matchup here. What do you expect to see? Early aggression, or are we going to see a macro style game?
Well, whenever I see a random player, I always think of what all in can they do that would really mess you up if you don't know what race they are. And so I think Corn Muscles is probably going to try and do something one basey, while Terran's going to get a good scout and then react from there.
Okay. We are seeing early gas come down. This was gas before. That's unusual. Gas before gateway. So that you don't usually see that out of Protoss, and I don't. That's typical of.
That's a very early gas.
Yeah, that's typical of either early Stargate play or maybe nah, not a fast stalker because I don't think you need that much gas. Maybe trying to get Twilight Council. I'm not sure, but maybe early Stargate certainly wouldn't be out of the question.
Right. With some type of 3-gate follow up.
Yeah, yeah. Or it's gas heavy, gas heavy play.
Maybe it's a way to stay safe against a really early Marine, so you can get a sentry to block off the ramp.
That's another possibility. Getting sentries out. Sentries do cost a lot of gas as well. So he is chrono boosting his Nexus. And we'll see what his tech choice is going to be here. Oh,
He's
expansion.
saving a lot of. Oops, sorry.
Yeah, he went ahead and expanded. So, I mean, he got a ton of gas, but I think he probably is going to try to play safe with, no sentry, just Stalker. Mothership Core, early Mothership Core. But I don't know if you needed that much. You probably didn't need that much gas. So you probably could have taken your gas later anyway. So we'll have to see.
Right. Maybe it's interesting. I know if you take
Scouting certainly didn't work. He went up to scout the Terran and was taken out immediately. So I don't think he was able to scout uh, Drunk Driver's expansion. Certainly wasn't able to get over and see the gas.
right. I like the Terran's play here. Once he saw that Nexus drop, he decided to go for the second CC and expand himself instead of making a early play, instead of making an aggressive play. So it looks like they're both planning for some macro.
Nice and safe macro play. Well, you got two Stalkers. Got a Mothership Core out.
Still no tech out from the Protoss, which is so weird seeing that early gas like that. It just
Yeah, you got tons of gas right now. You got almost 300 gas. But I mean, if you did need it, whatever reason you took the early gas, it did not. There was really no, as far as I can tell, any reason for it because you haven't used it. So you could have taken it after and been better economically if you hadn't. So I don't know exactly what the initial. He may have initially had an idea and then was like, oh, I'm just gonna change it, and I can kind of maybe didn't hurt him that much to do that, but.
mm. Now he is transitioning in the robotics facility, so he has that out. He's thinking Colossus. Always a good play against Terran Bio.
Yeah, but is he gonna have the economy to support Colossus right now? I mean, you got two bases, but 28 workers. I don't know.
Yeah, you also need those gases to really get the Colossus production going. Even offset by the fact that he took his early gas.
Yeah, and now he's kind of hurting for minerals and doesn't really have a strong standing army. He's getting out of Warp Prism instead, so maybe.
He just got his. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
He just got his Twilight Council out too, so it seems a lot like the play we saw from, well, if he does War Prism Harass, then it is a bit more focused of a play than what we saw from the other Protoss
Yeah, maybe
guy.
maybe a warp prism blank or maybe dropping DTs. That could be too if he decides to throw down a DT shrine. I don't.
The Shrine is out.
Okay, so he does have the shrine, and so we'll probably see a DT drop then. Warp prism drops some DTs, and is there any detection up right now? Nope. So the only detection we'll have are the scans. So this could be a good play from Corn Muscle.
Terran Army is moving out though. He has to be careful here.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he does have photon overcharge, so I think he'll be safe. But that is a lot of. Oh, and he does have stim as well. He's gonna have to. Doesn't want to lose that mothership core. Oh, the mothership core goes down, and unless he warps in, gets some DTs down, I don't think he's gonna be able to hold off this army now. Man, he lost that mothership core so fast he couldn't get the photon overcharge out, and he's already gonna lose his natural. He is gonna get DTs, but as long as the Terran uses one of its scans, this is probably gonna be able to hold this off pretty, or stop these DTs pretty quick. But he's not using his scans. He's actually losing a lot of his army to these DTs.
Yep, the Terran has to be careful here. If he can hold this Dark Templar harass off, or this War Prism harass off, pardon. He's going to be in good shape to win the game, but the Protoss does have to do damage here to get him back into it.
Yep, he just needed a scan. Got the one scan. That was a good split by Corn Muscles because however, he did allow that turret to finish. So now all Terran's got to do is kill off that DT, and he'll be fine on that end. There's a turret up on the back end, so he's really safe. And now he's so far ahead economically. There's just no really way Corn Muscles can get back into this game unless something miraculous happens.
Yeah, Corn Muscles did a good job. He did get one. He did get 8 SCV kills with that one Dark Templar, but he needed to do a lot more, unfortunately. And right now, Terran's just looking to take it.
Yeah, his army is massive army. 49 army on the field right now.